Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Design Together, a channel here to help you become a better product designer. First of all, I want to start this video by saying thank you to everyone that's liked and subscribed to the channel so far. It really means a lot to me. It's crazy seeing all this engagement with the videos. I did not expect much when I first posted the content, but it's so cool to see a lot of you getting value out of the content that's been put out so far. So thank you. Thank you for being here. If you don't know who I am, my name is Ahmed and I'm a product designer. 2 years ago, I co-founded a software agency with my friend who's a software developer, and the agency is called Rogue UX. We've learned a lot of lessons along the way, and specifically around the business of design. So I'm going to be making a set of videos about the business of design. In this episode specifically, I'm going to be talking about how to write an enterprise level proposal. I'm going to show you the proposal that I wrote that helped me win a $100,000 website redesign and development contract. I'm going to be breaking down the anatomy of a proposal, the different sections to include, how to write copy for it, and how to take that creative blue sky thinking of design and distill it down to a set of deliverables. So by the end of this video, proposals won't scare you anymore. You'll be able to easily write proposals and start bidding on projects. I'll also be including a link in the description of this video to a proposal template that I wrote. This template is designed so that you can start submitting to projects within 2 business days. Just change the business name, customize the proposal a bit, and you're off to the races. So make sure to check that out because I promise you there's a lot of good value in there and it will save you a lot of time. If you don't find that you've gotten enough value from the proposal template, please email me directly and I'll be happy to refund you your money. So let's get into it. How do you write a business proposal? So this is the proposal template that I use when I'm bidding on projects. It's won me a lot of projects. It's costed me a lot of hours to get here, but here it is. We're finally here. You can download this template in the description of this video. It's available in PDF, pages, and Word document format. So let's get started. So this is the intro page. It's essentially talking about what you're going to be seeing in this project. You would choose or insert your client's logo and add it in here. If the logo doesn't have a name in it, you can add their name underneath the logo, or you can delete that title if you don't have a need for it. And like, we're just going to change this just for the example here. So I could say Mozilla website redesign. So this is what I'm pitching to. The point of contact is the person that you've been emailing back and forth, or you've called a few times. You have a point of contact with the other company. You'll put their name in there, the date you're going to be submitting this proposal, and your contact information. Also note there's this footer section, right? You can replace your logo here and have your contact information and your company information, but that also repeats on multiple pages. So make sure to add that in because it'll make it easy for a client to easily find your contact information. We start off with the overview section. This is essentially like a cover letter for a job. You're going to talk about why you're pitching to this project, what interests you about it, why are you a good fit, and what's your past experience like. Essentially, it's an overview of that, of who you are and why you're interested in this project. If you download the template, you'll have a fully overview section written out. All you'll have to do is just change these italicized words and you're good to go. So it would be like Dear Sarah and the Mozilla team. Keep filling in the rest of the document. It shouldn't take you more than a minute. It'll talk about your mission, your vision, why are you doing this. There'll be lots of sections there for you to write out to save you time. So overview section, and then we get into the outline of the proposal. So the proposal is broken down into about 8 sections. So our sections are areas of expertise, project team, past project experience, project understanding, very important section. So here's what we understand of the project, which goes into solution overview section. So here's how we're going to solve this problem. And then maybe have a prototype in the solution overview section, right? The features of the product, how you're going to accomplish it. So like, we're going to start at this date and we're going to do all these activities. So your timeline and process section. Project management, how are you going to manage all this project and how much it's going to cost and what are the deliverables, right? So those are the different sections. So let's get into it one by one super quick. Very easy stuff. It's honestly not that complicated once you take a breath, slow it down, and go section by section, it's super easy. So just look at this section, for example. Like, these are your areas of expertise. Like, what are you good at? So I made this diagram. It's a very popular diagram. It's called the double diamond diagram. It's popular in design, and it's to illustrate the continuous cycle of development or design, right? And these are the areas that we are strong and confident at. So prototyping, design systems, so on. You can change these to match your own services, and then a table with the services that you provide. There's a big list in the template, so you can use some of those as examples, or you can just create your own custom from the start. Then you got your project team section. So anywhere you see upload image there, just double click, choose an image, and replace it. So yeah, you got your project team section. Who's this person? It's me. What up? Then you got a bio and the skills that I bring to a team, which are questionable. JK. All right. Now let's go to the past project section, next section, right? So these are the projects that are similar to the one that you're bidding on. Again, you can double click and upload here. So I don't know. Let's see if I got something here. That might work. There you go. Done. Yeah, your client name, point of contact. This is like your references. So add their contact information here, what you did for them, and how much it costed, and a link to the project. Super simple. There are 3 different layouts here. So just the desktop on phone, and 3 phones. Obviously, you can duplicate it, rearrange it how you want, whatever works for you and what works for that project. After past projects, we got project understanding. So essentially, when you're bidding on a project, so companies will release requests for proposal documents, RFPs, or you will know a client, right? And you'll be talking to them about the project. So in the RFP, they'll detail all the things they need. So they say, we're company X, and here's who we are, here's our mission, here's our vision, here's the history of the project, here's where we are so far, here are the problems we're facing, here are our objectives and goals, here's who's going to be working on the project, and that's your RFP document. Sometimes you might be missing some of that information, right? But then you ask. So there's certain things that you need to know from the client so that you can include it in this project understanding section. So you need to know the scope of the project. What are the objectives of the project? What are we trying to accomplish here? If there's any constraints, there could be budget constraints. There could be timeline constraints, like maybe their technical infrastructure is running out of date and they need to update this website urgently. Who's going to be working on the project? What are the objectives? What are the goals of the project, right? How are we going to be accomplishing them? What are the success metrics? All these things you need to understand so that you can take that information and reiterate it back to them in a way that it seems that you understand their space and their project. This helps sell the project. In the template that's included in the link in the description, you'll find an example project understanding section similar to the one on the screen, where you can use it as reference to how a project understanding section should sound like and what are the different sections to include, like scope, objectives, deliverables, key stakeholders, and business needs and constraints. So these are the things you need to have in your project understanding section. Then it goes into the solution overview. So we understand the project, we get the problem, we get the constraints. Here's how me or company, or here's how we are going to, there goes my microphone. This is how we're going to solve this problem. These are the 2 areas probably where you're going to have to spend a good amount of time because they're totally custom to each project, right? There'll be some similarities between projects, but this is the area where it's very custom. Like every business or every project is going to have different constraints. So this has to be totally custom from you. I wrote out text here and examples to make it easier for you to write these sections. So make sure to download the template. There's also a free sample included in the description, so download that. And if you find that valuable, you can also download the full template, which is also included in the description. Here's an area to upload a prototype. You can edit this link, edit with the link to the prototype you want to add. Also, if you're going to include a prototype, make sure that you get buy-in from the client before. When you just throw in a prototype without saying anything, it makes it seem less valuable. So you could say to the client, for example, I've really thought a lot about this project and I think we can do this and this and this for your team. And I also think a design concept or prototype will help get that message across. Do you think that's something you'd be interested in? And if they say yes, great. You're going to include it anyways. But if you can get them to say yes before, it gives the prototype itself more value. So keep that in mind. Same amount of work, but somehow one way gets you more value. So then we go on to the product features section. So this is a list of the features of the project. So it's going to be a responsive website. It's going to be accessible. It's going to be integrated with a CRM, which is a customer relationship management software. It's going to have custom APIs. It's going to have a custom backend infrastructure. Whatever features in general you're going to have in this project, make sure to list those out. So if you download the template, again, there'll be a lot of common features already included so that you don't have to write them again. For example, there's already an item about accessibility. There's already an item about user input forms. There's already an item about Google Analytics, Search Console, so that you don't have to think about how to write this product feature. It's already written out there for you in the template. Then our favorite part, of course, the timeline and process. This is a really important part, that how are you going to do it? It's very important to be detailed in this section because this is going to reflect in your budget section as well. Let's look at timeline and process section first. Here we have this table, and you can customize this table to your own needs, right? You can change these, move them around, however, and customize them to what you want. So you got the design and discovery phase, front-end development phase, prototype, back-end development, CMS trading, and user acceptance testing. So that's how we're going to run this project. And now I'm going to go down into each one of these blocks, and I'm going to detail the specific activities for it. So design and discovery. First is going to start off with a kickoff meeting. And then we're going to do a user persona workshop. And then we're going to do a sitemap workshop. And then we're going to do a user journey exercise. All the activities you're going to be completing in these boxes, make sure to add that detail and add that description in these tables. Because those are going to be the line items that you're going to charge for in the budget and deliverables section. You need to be detailed. If a project goes wrong, and if it doesn't go wrong, sometimes a client will want to add more features. So if you're more detailed, then you can always go back to your proposal or your contract, which is like the holy grail. That's your Bible. And you can always look at it and say, okay, we agreed to X, Y, and Z. But if it's vague and open, then X could mean a lot of things. So you need to be very precise so that there's no ambiguity in what you're going to be delivering. So yeah, you've added your timeline and process, how you're going to accomplish this project. If you download the template, there's going to be tons of these included. So anywhere you see 3 dots, that means there's more content in the actual template. So there'll be one for kickoff, user persona workshop, design system item, backend item. There's a lot of more items in there that you can just reuse for your own project and just change the client name. Project management is essentially a section that talks about how you're going to handle this project. So it talks about, one, handling it from a sense of like tickets, bugs, design defects. So that's how you're going to manage the project, how are you going to get it done. So this is an area where you would talk about the project management tools that you're going to use. So Trello is very popular, Jira is very popular. If you're not familiar with those tools, check them out because they're very important when you're working on a project to keep track of everything. It's very, very important. Apart from the project management tools, you're going to need communication channels between you and the client. So Slack is an example of a communication channel. Figma is also a communication channel because they leave comments on your designs, right? So they can communicate to you through Figma. They can communicate to you through Zoom. Maybe you use a software like Markup so they can leave comments on a live website. So how do you manage this project, right? How do you manage communication and feedback on this project? And also, how do you manage the actual building of the project, right? Like bugs and defects and so forth. So make sure you mention these in the project management section. Again, there'll be examples of other items in this section included in the template. Everyone's favorite part, the money. Yeah, so money section. So essentially these items are, you're going to grab and pull all the stuff that you wrote from here. So your kickoff, your user persona workshops, your front-end development, and you're going to put that all in here. And make sure when you talk about front-end development also, don't leave it that open. Say I'm going to do a home page, I'm going to do an about page, I'm going to do an events page, I'm going to do a browse events page, and then a singular events page. And the singular events page is going to have X, Y, Z. It's totally against the thinking of like, oh, you're a designer and like keep your mind open and blue sky thinking. That is great and everything, and it's very important to keep that in mind when you're building the project. But you also need to be very granular in your description of these things, because clients will come back with more requests or they'll think you under delivered. So you need to have a document so that you can show them, here's what we agreed on. So at the end of the day, they don't feel bad and you don't feel that you're putting in extra hours that you didn't expect just to make them happy. So make sure that you're very granular in your description. In the template, there'll be a ton of examples that you can use and reuse for your projects. Make sure to mention any ongoing monthly expenses here, the milestones of the project, and your payment schedule. The milestones are the ends of each of these phases, right? So milestone design done, milestone front end prototype development done, back end development done. Those are your milestones. So also make sure to highlight them in this table and the payment schedule that you will be moving forward with. And this is just a page for your information and how they can contact you and who you are and all the goody goodies. Yep, so that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you write a business proposal for an enterprise software. If you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot. If you got any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you got any ideas about what videos I should create next, please leave those in the comments. I'll definitely be reading them. Thank you for being here, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.